Welcome back to the show. When Kendall Jenner walked onto the stage that night, it didn't feel like just another celebrity interview. What followed was a rare, unfiltered look into her life, family, fame, quiet moments, and a Super Bowl decision that ended with a phone call from one of the greatest athletes of all time. Jimmy Fallon starts by asking about her family. He brings up her mom and sister, reminding Kendall how they had all stopped by the show months earlier and completely lit up the place. Kendall smiles and says everyone is doing well, just very busy. All good things. Jimmy asks her to send them his love. Then he mentions her mom's birthday. 70 years old. Kendall says it proudly, adding that her mom looks amazing. She talks about her spirit, her energy, and how fun she is. Kendall says she hopes she grows up to be just like her. You can tell it's not a throwaway comment, it's admiration. Jimmy points out that Kendall had a birthday around the same time. She laughs and says yes, she turned 30. A big year. 2 huge birthdays so close together that they decided to give each one its own moment. Kendall explains that turning 30 comes with pressure. So she planned a cruise with 30 of her closest friends. It was wild, fun, and unforgettable. But when it was over, the reality hit her all at once. She found herself thinking, did I really just turn 30? It was exciting, but also overwhelming. Jimmy asks what her mom did for her birthday. Kendall's face lights up. Her mom had a massive blowout celebration. Kendall says it was so, her, full of joy, love, and people who truly care about her. Kendall admits there was a moment during the night when she almost cried, just watching her mom be that happy. She says seeing that kind of joy was incredibly powerful. Then Jimmy casually asks if Justin Bieber really sang at Kendall's birthday party. Kendall laughs and says yes, he did. She jokes that sometimes he just does that. Everyone was having fun, singing together, a little under the influence. Justin sang a few songs, but one stood out. The song was Devotion, one of Kendall's favorites. She explains that before the album was released, the song almost didn't make the cut, and she had quietly pushed for it because she loved it so much. That night, Justin looked at her and said, "Kendall, this is for you." She says she was fully in the moment and had the best time. Jimmy then brings up a video Kendall posted with her sister Kylie that completely exploded online. The clip shows them on a beach at sunset, picking rocks out of the ocean and throwing them back in. One rock, in particular, became famous, Edward. Kendall laughs explaining that Kylie is her person, and when they're together, especially after a couple of drinks, their purest selves come out. That day, sitting on the beach with piña coladas, Kendall felt like Edward needed to be rescued and returned to the ocean. It was silly, pointless, and somehow perfect. The internet loved it. The conversation shifts to fashion. Kendall recently walked in the Vogue World Hollywood show wearing the iconic outfit from Moulin Rouge, originally worn by Nicole Kidman. Kendall says that movie was one of her favorites growing up, and wearing that dress felt unreal. The original designer recreated the outfit just for her. Kendall admits she almost didn't want to wear it out of respect, feeling like Nicole did it better. But then came the real surprise. For her 30th birthday, Vogue let her keep the dress. Now it sits in her archive as a piece of fashion and film history. Jimmy then reveals something many people don't know about Kendall. She's a competitive horseback rider. Not casually, seriously. She still competes, still jumps, and still trains. Kendall says it's incredibly important to her. But here's the twist. No one knows it's her. She competes under a fake name. She explains that it helps her avoid nerves. When people don't know who you are, they're not watching you. She gets to feel like just another rider, one of the girls. The conversation turns to her Super Bowl commercial with Fanatics Sportsbook. Kendall explains the idea behind it, the so-called Kardashian Curse. The internet theory that any athlete who dates a Kardashian is somehow doomed. Kendall shrugs it off and laughs. Instead of fighting the rumor, she leaned into it. The campaign turns the curse into a joke, and the bet she makes will benefit charity no matter who wins. But there's one problem. Kendall admits she doesn't know much about football. Says she's still learning and needs help deciding who to bet on. So she pulls out her phone and says she wants to call a friend. Jimmy agrees. Moments later, the screen lights up, and Tom Brady appears. The audience goes wild. Tom starts breaking down the game: defenses, speed, statistics, strategy. He goes deep into analysis, naming players and throwing out advanced metrics. Jimmy pretends to follow along, nodding enthusiastically. Kendall listens politely, trying to absorb it all. When the call ends, Jimmy asks Kendall if she understood any of it. She laughs and says no. Not really. In the end, Kendall says she's going to trust her gut. She decides to go with the underdog. She chooses the New England Patriots to win the Super Bowl. And just like that, the decision is made. In one conversation, the world got to see something different. Not just a supermodel or a Kardashian, but a woman balancing fame with moments of normalcy, protecting parts of her life that still belong only to her. Sometimes, those quiet, unguarded moments tell the most powerful stories of all.